puppy.
Searching for greatness in a sea of the dying and shameless. A sea of the aimless. I don't wanna be one of the nameless. I'ma wake up with the mindset that one
I need my chair. Can I have my chair, please?
I'll be fine if I don't break my limitations. Don't try to stop me. I exist to write my own
No,
story.
you just don't care.
I'll make a decision if I want some peace or if I want the glory. Yeah. Don't want a life that is complacent or possibly boring. Just want a life that is worth every day exploring. My whole life
Hi, hello. So before I start the video, as usual, just a little warning. I live with 2 dogs, 3 cats, a lizard, and 2 other human beings. It is a noisy home, so if you hear stuff, I can't control that. Today's video is going to be me talking about the first episode of Wednesday. So I did watch it last night, and here are some of my initial reactions to it as I watched it. Alright, so I've already had to pause it because I thought this was a movie.
Already, I'm gonna make a guess that this show, well, maybe not, I don't know. I'm thinking that maybe it'll be Wednesday going to this, school for outcasts where her mother and father met and fell in love. And I feel like it's kind of gonna be sort of the same story for Wednesday, or she's gonna absolutely dominate this school. One or the other. I feel like I should have predicted that her roommate was gonna be like a super bubbly girl that's nothing like her. Why did I not see that coming? Of course there are gonna be freak murders going on right next to a school with a bunch of werewolves, vampires, sirens, and whatever else there is. But of course, it's not gonna be in any way, shape, or form actually coming from the school. It's probably gonna be some random person who is killing people nearby, and Wednesday is probably gonna find them, maybe make an alliance with them to get out of the school. I don't know, she seems really dead set on not being in the school, but what does she want? Like, I know Wednesday's supposed to be like the very edgy goth girl who's like every social construct is I don't care to be involved in it, but what is her actual goal? She doesn't want to be a housewife, she doesn't want to go to school, does she want to be a murderer? Life goals, man. Sure, I won't judge. I judge a little. Okay, she wants to be a novelist. I totally get every aspect of her personality now. I just realized another thing. This school is full of werewolves, vampires, gargoyles, whatever the fuck it is. But Wednesday is a human. Does she fit into this school because she's just very strange? Like, what makes her an outcast other than the fact that she's just a strange character? I don't know, I'm curious. Like, is she a witch? I know her mom does, like, witchy things, but she's not an actual witch, is she? I don't know. There is a boy in the picture, so my theory number 1 might be real, might be true, maybe. I don't know, let's see. And now another boy has come into the mix. I'm seeing this turning more and more into her unwittingly seducing, or rather compelling, boys to like her, and her being like, Though I am liking this twist where it's kind of, she's still a teenager and she still clearly does have like emotions and a character and personality that she does need to work through. And I thought the therapist was kind of interesting, her using her novel to understand her, because ultimately you can understand a lot of a person based on what they write. I'm curious. Also, the therapist asked, what do you want to do with your life? And she didn't answer. So maybe author is like part of it, but not all of it. Well, there are a few plot points that I'm very interested in. I'm kind of glad it's not a movie, actually, which is funny because I often get quite disappointed when it's shows. But yeah, I'm actually super interested. The monster at the end, though, was weird. I was like, is that like some weird spooky cartoony type of thing? It had huge eyes and like it looked terrifying, but at the same time kind of comical. I don't know. I am interested though. And then like at the end of the first episode, they put like this, what will be in the whole season. And I am quite interested. So as you can see, I actually thought it was a movie at first. Ryan had made me dinner and I was like, oh, I'm gonna watch the Wednesday movie. So I sat down with my salad and I was like, oh, it says episode 1, so it's a series. Another thing I realized too is that it is directed by Tim Burton. And I haven't watched anything by Tim Burton in a very long time. So I do feel like his style has changed. I mean, I don't know. Again, I feel like maybe I should watch more of his stuff, but I also feel like maybe he hasn't come out with anything in a long time other than this. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know. I think the last thing I watched by him, I think it was like The Corpse Bride or something. I'm not, like, I don't follow, movie directors or whatever as much as like I might read books by the same author. So maybe, maybe I should fix that because I do like Tim Burton's look on things. It's usually very, it's very goth,
but funny sometimes. Anyways, Wednesday, episode 1. It was not entirely what I expected. And I hadn't watched a trailer. I didn't know anything about it. I just turned on Netflix and I had seen that there was something called Wednesday, like really quickly. And I was like, oh, I'll save that and watch it later. And again, I thought it was a movie. So Wednesday is the Addams family. She is the daughter in the Addams family. She is weird. In a lot of the previous movies, because I've only seen 2 previous Addams family movies. I don't remember which ones they were. If I find the not cover. I keep wanting to say front cover, but it's not the cover. It's like the whatever the fuck it's called. The print of the movie. If I find them, I'll put them up here. One that I watched was definitely an animated one. It was a lot lighter on the dark side of things and the sexual connotations that sometimes the Addams family has. And I watched it when I was teaching online. It was like a prize that the kids won to watch a movie on Halloween, so we watched it. And then the other one was one that I just watched myself, and I think that I watched it because I was like, I've never watched the Addams family, and this one's a very popular one, so I'll watch it. And I really did love it. I love the couple, Morticia and Gomez. I think that they are, I don't want to say goals because everyone has their own kind of love language and they clearly fit together very well. So I thought that, I don't know, I really like the dynamics between them. I thought that Wednesday was incredibly intelligent and fucked up at the same time. And in a way, I really can kind of connect with her where everything just, there's always some kind of criticism to give to it. Like, she's very philosophical almost in those movies, and I think it's funny. Pugsley is just the scapegoat, honestly. I'm like, that's kind of unhealthy. The way that she treats him, and the parents are like, that's fine, go torture your brother. But I like it. It's very dark humor, and I think it's great. That's my kind of shit. I love dark humor, and so anyways, I was very excited to watch Wednesday, thinking it was a movie, but then pleasantly surprised that it's not. I typically do prefer watching movies over TV shows. It's just, I don't know, I like something that I know has an ending to it. A finite ending usually means that it's nice and wrapped up. TV shows I can get very frustrated with because they'll just go on and on and on and on and make a bunch of fucking seasons, and after a while it starts dropping. But I really did like the first episode. So I'm going to mainly just talk about the first episode. I have watched more since. I watched the first episode and was like, I want to keep going. So I guess that's a good thing. First episode. Wednesday is at a normie school is what they call them, which I guess is just humans. And she comes to the defense of her brother when he got bullied, and she essentially gets charged with attempted murder. Yeah, a kid lost a testicle because she put piranhas in a pool. And, you know, that kind of immediately gives you that, yep, that's Wednesday Addams. She will take people's actions very seriously and she will avenge tenfold. So she ends up having to leave that school, and you learn that she's been to 8 different schools in like the span of 5 years or something like that. So her parents finally decide to not make her go. Well, kind of, yeah. They enroll her in a school called Nevermore. And Nevermore is a school for outcasts. Now, at first I was like, maybe it's just for a bunch of kids that are kind of like Wednesday, where they just don't fit in very much. Like maybe they're future murderers. That's what I thought of Wednesday, right? A future murderer. But no, it's actually a school with vampires, werewolves, gorgons, all kinds of creatures, I guess, which I was not expecting. I was like, oh, they're going to be different creatures. It's not just strange people who just don't fit into normal standards of society. So immediately starts off and I'm just like, okay, so 2 things in my opinion are going to happen. Either she's going to completely overtake this school and become this boss ass bitch who runs the school and has everyone kind of moving to her tune, or she's gonna have a story kind of like her mom and dad where they said like, oh, this is where we fell in love, and I'm like, well, maybe it's gonna kind of be the same for her. She's gonna find love, something that she didn't expect. Maybe she's going to have a typical kind of teenage experience, which is healthy. Like, that's kind of the point of being a teenager, is to go through the ups and downs of your emotions and experiences. And I kind of think that it is going in that direction. It is going in the direction of, yeah, Wednesday Addams is weird and she doesn't care what people think about her, which is great, right? That's a great message. Be who the fuck you want to be. But she's still a teenager and she still does have emotions, and she just doesn't process them the same as everyone else, and maybe she does need a little bit of help to figure them out so that she can have a more healthy life. And I think it's kind of going in that direction, and I like that. I think that it's a good angle to take, where it doesn't matter how weird you are, you're still going to be a living being that has feelings and that has opinions and that has life goals. Now, the other thing that I talked about was like, Wednesday doesn't want to go to school, but then what is her goal? And even a few episodes in, it's not totally clear what it is, but something that is clear is that she's a smart girl and she wants to know. So the fact that, I think in episode 1 it mentions that her father was accused of a murder. And at first I thought she would be proud of her dad, like, oh yeah, dad is accused of murder. But actually she's quite angry. She's like, why would my father murder someone? Like, murder is not something that she actually condones, and yet it's something that she often threatens. So you can tell that it's very much like, you know, murder is wrong and she knows it's wrong, but she will still joke about it. Which, I don't know, in a way it's kind of contradictory. But she goes to the school and she does meet like 2 other boys. There's one that she knew in her childhood and one that she meets in town who's a normie, and I kind of see where it's going. Like, she's going to prefer the normie kid, and this human kid actually does enjoy her, which is fair. Like, Wednesday Addams is a very independent, doesn't care what other people think, and people like that tend to impress others and attract others to them because, you know, there's that sense of, gosh, I wish I could be like that. I wish that I could not care what others think about me, which again is one thing I love about Wednesday. And I think is really her driving character trait that makes her so apart from the rest. She meets those 2 boys, and then there's also other things that are going on, which are all very interesting points, but I am worried that the show might try to do too much at a time. But it's also Tim Burton. I feel like he can pull off a lot of strange things and make it all move seamlessly. But there is some kind of monster on the loose that is killing things, and there's a sheriff who really believes that it's related to the school. Of course, you're going to have some bigot, and there is that kind of parallel with our world where it's, you know, well, bigots and racists basically are terrible. And Wednesday is very much a kind of justice seeker where she's like, no, I am not letting history, which has often been clouded with the message of the bigot saying, you know, well, I am the savior. She doesn't like that. I'm like, I'm all for that, girl. Yeah, you fight against that message of, well, whoever wins the fight is the one who tells the story. There is also the story of the normie boy that she met, who apparently he has a bit of a background that we don't really know, and I'm curious about that. Then there is her childhood friend who is roommates with, I guess warlocks are a thing. I was also very confused because I was like, well, why is Wednesday at this school where there's a bunch of vampires, werewolves, sirens, all this stuff, and she seems human? I think there are warlocks, but that only came up around the end. And Wednesday does have visions. And one of the kids, her childhood friend, his roommate, thinks that she is going to somehow bring disaster to Nevermore. So that comes up as well in the episode, which is another plot point. So is Wednesday Addams going to bring about some kind of miniature apocalypse upon the school? There's a monster running around. She's meeting a normie boy who has a past that we don't quite know about. There are just a lot of different things that I'm very interested in, and that's why I kept watching it. I think I'm on episode 5 now, and I'm definitely going to probably finish it today or tomorrow. I don't know. But yes, the show Wednesday, I am enjoying very much. I'm curious where it's going. If you've watched it, please let me know what you think. What are some other things that Tim Burton has made in recent years too? Because I can't think of any. Please, if you follow Tim Burton very much, if he's like one of your favorite directors and movie creators or whatever, let me know some of his more recent works because I kind of want to watch it now. I feel like Tim Burton is one of those directors that I do really like, but at the same time, I feel like I don't really know a lot of his work other than maybe his like animated ones. So yes, the show Wednesday is a great success for me and I'm very much enjoying it. Very much looking forward to watching the rest of it. Please let me know what you think, or if you haven't even watched it yet, are you interested in watching it, or not at all? Let me know. Anyways, that's it. I'm hungry and I'm gonna head on off now. Bye.
I've been dreaming on in my head like I've seen it. A life worth living is a life with meaning. I'll do what I love till